Hey everyone, I want to take a look at number 17 in section 3.1. We're given this graph of the function f here, and the function f, and are asked to determine which of these statements are correct. So there's actually more than one statement that's correct and more than one statement that's incorrect. And all these statements have to do with the derivative, notice, of the function f. That's what the little prime mark means. Remember, f prime of x is the derivative, which is what? It's the slope of the graph of the function. So let's just look at the function f. What is the slope of the function from x equals 0 to x equals 3? Well, it's just a horizontal line. Slope, therefore, is equal to 0. Okay, so the slope for the function f at any point between x equals 0 and x equals 3 is 0. Now, it abruptly changes at 3. Notice the slope afterwards between 3 and 5 is no longer 0, but it's some positive value. What is the slope of this line segment? Well, if we think about it, going from this point here, 3, 1, to the point 5, 2, we're going up 1 and then over 1, 2. So the slope, remember, is the rise, which is 1, over the run, which is 2. The vertical change over the horizontal change, 1 divided by 2. So it's a half. The derivative is a half for this function, anywhere between 3 and 5. Now, again, at 5, there's a change, a pretty abrupt change again. And if we look at this portion, it's like a parabola that's opening downward. But if I look at the tangent line at any point between x equals 5 and x equals 7, the slope is going to be positive. The tangent line would be the line that just touches the graph, right? And the slope is positive, but as we move from left to right, it's getting less positive. In fact, by the time we get to x equals 7, the tangent line would be horizontal. Therefore, the derivative right at 7 is going to be 0. After 7, between 7 and 9, notice the tangent line will be a decreasing line, and therefore the slope is going to be negative. So it starts out at 0, becomes negative, and it gets more negative as we move from left to right. Okay, so again, to recap, between 0 and 3, the derivative of f is 0. Between 3 and 5, the derivative of f is 1/2. Between 5 and 7, the derivative is positive, but decreasing, getting smaller, getting closer to 0. Derivative at 7 is 0. And then after 7, between 7 and 9, the derivative is negative and getting more negative as we move from left to right. Okay, so now I think we have enough tools to answer these, to find which statements are correct. F prime of 7.5 is greater than F prime of 2.5. Well, what is F prime of 7.5? Well, 7.5 is between 7 and 9. We know the slope of the tangent line is negative, therefore the derivative is negative. F prime of 2.5, well, 2.5, remember, between 1 and 3, the derivative is 0 because the tangent line is just a horizontal line of a slope of 0. So f of 7.5 is negative, f of 2.5 is 0. Is a negative number greater than 0? No, we're not going to check that first statement. F prime of 1.5, that slope is 0. So f prime of 1.5 is 0. F prime of 6.5, well, 6.5 is here between x equals 5 and x equals 7. Remember, the slope is positive. It is getting less positive as we move from left to right, but it is still positive. So f prime of 6.5 is positive. F prime of 1.5 is 0. Is 0 greater than a positive number? No, 0 is not greater than a positive number. We're not going to check this statement. Okay, well, we just did f prime of 7.5. Remember, that is some negative number. F prime of 7.5 is some negative number. F prime of 2.5 is 0. Is some negative number equal to 0? No, we're not going to check that. Okay, are any of these statements true? Well, let's see. F prime of 1.5, that's 0. F prime of 6.5, well, 6.5 is some positive number, remember. The slope is positive between x equals 5 and x equals 7. So this is a positive number, f prime of 6.5. This is 0, f prime of 1.5. Is 0 less than any positive number? Yes, we're going to check that. F prime of 7.5, 7.5 again being a negative slope there, means the f prime of 7.5 is negative. F prime of 2.5 is 0 again, because anything between 0 and 3 has a slope that's 0. So we have a negative number less than 0. Yes, that's always true. F prime of 6.5, that's some positive number, right? The slope is positive there. So F prime of 6.5 is positive. Again, F prime of 1.5, as we've said before, is 0. Can a positive number be equal to 0? No. I'm not going to check that one. And the last one, F prime of 8.5, that's slope is some negative number there. So that's a negative number. F prime of 2.5, again, is 0, is a negative number, always less than 0. Yes, we're going to check that. So those are the three choices that are correct statements. I'll check my answer. And well, it doesn't look exactly like your guys' solutions will look, but this tells me these three statements are all the true statements. Okay, so I hope this is helpful for you. And again, as always, if you have questions, please let me know.